Good morning, good afternoon, and or evening, and welcome back to the Den and to another Marvel Rivals video. This one a little bit different, little out of my usual speed of gameplay and tier lists and whatnot, reacting to another person who plays Marvel Rivals, another content creator. Going to be reacting to Bogur here. Now, Bogur is somebody that I came across when an episode of the Group Up podcast popped up on my YouTube feed. I checked it out, and Bogur was one of the 4 people on it. And I'm guessing that popped up because it popped up on the Flats 2 channel from where I reacted to Flats a couple of weeks ago. And I enjoyed that a pretty good bit, so I figured, hey, let's get somebody else's opinion on the state of Marvel Rivals. Let's see what somebody else thinks and has to say. So, we're going to be reacting to Bogur here. Now, this is on his channel, Bogur Two. He's got a couple of pretty big channels, and you're going to be seeing this video, or at least my reaction to this video, a week after it came out. It came out a couple of days ago on Monday, and I prefer to wait about a week before I post up anything reacting to anybody's content, so you're going to be seeing this on Monday, September the 8th, even though it's recorded on September the 3rd. Now, this video popped up in my YouTube feed earlier today, and I listened to a few minutes of it, and I knew that I wanted to do a reaction to it, right? But then as luck would have it, good old Guang Guang and Zeong later on posted up the Season 4 devlog for Marvel Rivals later in the day. Now, I'm going to be reacting to Bogur's video here in advance of reacting to the Season 4 devlog. So I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what's going to be in the heart of the dragon. I don't know if a lot of what he's going to be upset or concerned with or is going to be addressed, right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We do know that Marvel Rivals does have basically their next year of content already planned out, laid out, ready to roll out. Everything's moving on a certain timetable. Can't really change it, or at least with how they have their sort of dev cycle working in their own office. They're unable to, change the wheel on anything that's already laid out for the next year. So whatever Bogur is concerned about, whatever he's upset about, whatever he thinks is awesome may be completely different in a year. And we really don't know what the state of the game is going to look like in a year. I'm hoping across the next year we get a lot more strategists and vanguards to kind of even out the numbers with the duelists, but we know there's going to be some more duelists, and, well, hopefully there's not going to be a lot of duelists, right? I'm in the camp of I want some more even numbers across the roles. I know that they'll never be perfectly even, but having more duelists than vanguards and strategists combined it gives you a lot of options and different ways to play the game and different ways to enjoy Marvel Rivals if you're playing duelists primarily. But once you get into the strategists and the vanguard pool, well, as of Season 3.5, things are starting to get a little stale for me, right? I haven't lorded any vanguard, so I still have that to do. But it would be nice to see some more variety come to the vanguards and or the strategists, right? We could use a little bit more of both. But from what Bogur thinks here, at least from his thumbnail, looks like he thinks Marvel Rivals is dead. The video is entitled Marvel Rivals Seems Very Dead, and I'm going to have this video linked in the description of my reaction. I'm also going to have Bogur's main channel, and I'm going to have Bogur 2 linked down there as well, and I'm going to have the episode of the Group Up podcast where I first saw Bogur. So, a lot of different things you can check out from Bogur. Do go give him some love and support. Already subscribed, already gave a thumbs up to this video. Well, I'm reacting to it, so it's the least I can do. Plus, I kind of did like some of what I heard and some of what I didn't hear in the first several minutes of the video that I watched earlier today, right? And whether or not I agree with Bogur, it's always good to expose yourself to opposing ideals to yours, not necessarily from a way of adoption, but it's always good to have differing opinions. It helps you kind of flesh out your own arguments, and it kind of helps you to see a situation more holistically, right? Kind of see different angles, maybe realize that you didn't think of something that someone else thought of. It's always a good idea, right? So whether or not I agree with Bogur, I'm definitely going to be interested to hear what he has to say about the Marvel Rivals Season 4 devlog as well. I don't know if I'll react to that, but me personally, I'm going to be interested to get his thoughts on it. So, let's put the good old headphones on here. RIP Marvel Rivals 2024 to 2025. Marvel Rivals seems very dead. Tell us about it, Bogur.
I'm not gonna say he's muted. I know I'm muted because I'm on my phone. That's why I'm showing my phone on stream.
I don't know what that was about.
No, please. Please, please.
Ooh. Ooh, that was a good counter.
I miss Overwatch. I'm gonna say it. I miss Overwatch.
Okay, so Bogur is an Overwatch guy, right? I guess maybe I should have figured that because Flats is a Overwatch guy who also plays Rivals, so there's also a lot of overlap between the games. I mean, they're both hero shooters. I'm sure that at least mechanically they are somewhat similar, right? But I didn't know he was an Overwatch player, so cool. That gives me a little bit of context for what he's going to be saying coming up here.
I want to go back to Winston. I'm sorry I left. I'm sorry I left you. It was a mistake.
Is Overwatch really that different from Marvel Rivals, guys? Let me know in the comments below. But I mean, outside of, you know, the heroes being who the heroes are and having their certain combinations of abilities, and you've gotten used to a certain combination, or you've fallen in love with a certain combination of abilities on a hero. Yeah, I can see missing it, but I mean, is one like really bad and one really good? Because I'm not an Overwatch guy. Never really played Overwatch, right? There was a free weekend, played some games with some buds, wasn't any really extensive amount of time. But I've played a lot of Marvel Rivals, so I mean, I like Marvel Rivals. Why is it so bad, Bogur?
I miss you playing Rivals. I'm glad you're having fun. Can I be completely honest with you guys? But Rivals seems so fucking dead right now.
Really? Dead? It's got a pretty healthy player base. I mean, anytime I go to queue up in quick match, I just maybe wait like maybe maximum 10 seconds in a minute game. And from members of my community, it's pretty easy to get queued up in a Doom game. And there's always, you know, AI versus bots, but well, he's an Overwatch guy. Okay, that's one of the higher ranks. I'm not sure which one, but yeah, that's a high rank. Okay, so maybe he's coming at things from the competitive side. And also, I don't know what YouTube is doing right here. Maybe this is something that's like a part of his editing style. Like when he zooms in, he like puts like a blurry overlay or filter on it, right? But YouTube is not doing him any favors. And you know what? He is going to be over on this side, so I'm going to be... Let's rewind just a little bit.
You guys, but Rivals seems so fucking dead right now.
Why?
It's just unironically. I think they...
Is it a competitive standpoint, Bogur?
She just fucking ended with double DPS release. Like, I think Rivals, quite unironically, made the fucking cardinal sin of releasing 2 DPS characters when this game needed more tanks and supports. And I know it's not their fault in the sense that, hey, they planned it for a while, but why the fuck did they plan a double DPS release in such a long bit? And they also just don't nerf characters that need to be nerfed, like Loki and Luna.
Okay, so yeah, okay, yeah. I can totally agree with Bogur here. 2 deeps, 1 season. I mean, yeah, we needed to get Phoenix because it was a Phoenix season, and yeah, we needed Blade because, you know, we had the Dracula season a couple of, you know, seasons ago. I guess we could really use Doom and Dracula. Maybe we'll get villains at some point. I mean, we already got some villains, like, you know, we got Magneto, but I guess in Hela, but, you know, I guess you might be able to throw them an anti-hero instead of, you know, Frank. We got Frank, but he is an anti-hero. But I guess maybe you could throw Magneto and Hela and anti-hero as opposed to villain. Maybe, you know, depending on how you want to look at it, what point in the sliding timeline you want to look at it. You know, I never really noticed that this is actually like raised on Spider-Man's suit. At least it does from this angle with his footage. It looks like it's raised up, especially like right along in here. I never noticed that before. That's a really cool bit of detail on Spider-Man's suit. Although maybe it's just like recording and looking at it on YouTube because Spidey's butt's a little blurry. It's not really defined. Don't really have a good main street. But then again, he has no Deadpool, right? So maybe when Deadpool comes in, we'll have those voluptuous curves back there. But Loki and Luna. this has to be a competitive thing, right? Because I have seen Loki and Luna in quick play, and it can be very annoying, especially if like Loki is just copying Luna's ult. It can be very annoying because, well, depending on who pops what when, you know, someone might mess something up, and then you see 2 Luna ults going at the same time. I've seen a Luna and a Mantis ult going at the same time from having a Luna and a Mantis on the opposing team, so I imagine a Loki Mantis would probably be at least similar, but still. I don't know if you really need to nerf the characters, though. Right? I mean, if you're in competitive playlists, right, you've got a ban list, and from my understanding, like, the higher up you go, there's, like, more bans. So if Loki and Luna is such a problem, why aren't they, like, both getting banned, or at least one of them getting banned every game? Right? If it's really that much of a problem. Now, I can understand he may not like having to go up against it, especially if you see it a lot, and if you're playing the game a lot, grinding a lot, which from that rank, Bogur probably grinds a lot. I could see being tired of it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing certain combinations of tanks and supports whenever I'm in quick play. About the only tank support combo I'm not really tired of seeing. Well, actually, the thing I'm probably the most tired of seeing is a Vanguard combo, and it's Magneto Emma, right? It's not that I hate seeing either one of those characters. Just the team up and having the clones. After you see it like 3, 4, 5 games in a row, okay, it'd be nice to see something a little bit different. But then at the same time, you can also say the same thing about the Penny Rocket team up. I see that a lot in quick play as well. Now, of course, you're not going to be seeing that same kind of stuff in competitive play, but I can relate. I'm also kind of wondering, right? Like I don't know what Bogur mains, but at least from what I've seen so far, Bogur had that one play where he got pulled in by Winter Soldier there, got taken out, but he seems to be pretty agile. He seems to be able to like pull himself and then look as he's flying through the air and whatnot, and really get a kind of like an overlay of the battlefield. At least that's what it looks like, because every time he comes out of his little web thing, he does the little ground pound thing, and not ground pound, but he does like the double fist downward punch with Spider-Man, and that allows kind of like him to hover in air. So I would assume he's trying to like kind of see where people are on the field and pick his targets. But I mean, I wonder why he would be having trouble with Luna Loki, right? I would imagine with Spider-Man, couldn't he just easily take one of them out? I mean, granted, you take one of them out, the other one can pop an ult, but if you take out Luna really quick, Luna's not there for Loki to be able to copy. I don't know, though. Let's see if Bogur tells us.
And Emma and Mag, and people are just bored now. At first, Rivals was popping off because they were doing everything Overwatch wasn't doing, and now Overwatch is doing what Rivals isn't doing. And
So what was Overwatch not doing? Right? Like, I know there was this whole big debacle and whatnot with PvE, but I thought Overwatch was still adding characters in the game, or they just like completely stopped doing that. Because if they've stopped doing that and Rivals is still adding characters in, I mean, I could see that being a problem. At least for Overwatch. I don't know why that would be a problem with Rivals. Maybe he's just really hung up on the double DPS. Let's see.
performance isn't getting any better, and I genuinely feel like it's just like a complete mess. Developers...
Performance. I haven't had any performance issues personally outside of like, it taking a minute for shaders to load up at the start sometimes.
Have this curse of, hey, I'm gonna do everything in my power to not do the simple solution. Few times suck on both games.
So the only thing I can think is that he's talking about how like Overwatch is not getting characters, but Rivals is still getting characters, but we're getting like double same roll drop and not getting a variety. I wonder if he hates how similar some characters are, because some characters are kind of similar. They're not like the same, but they're similar. Oh hey, Star-Lord right there. I wonder if he's gonna take Star-Lord out. But let's hear what he said again one more time, uninterrupted.
is just like a complete mess. Developers have this curse of, hey, I'm gonna do everything in my power to not do the simple solution. Queue times suck on both games. Rivals, one of the strengths on Rivals was quite genuinely, hey, we have short queue times, the games are fast, the games are silly, the game is not that hard as Overwatch. Nice characters, you know. Like, Fan have to wait 6 million hours to get one single game. Like, I think in the span of like 2 hours, she played 4 games. Yeah.
Is it really that bad? Does it take like several minutes to queue up for a game in comp? Because, I mean, down in bronze, right? And when I was playing comp, it was in Season 0 and Season 1. And even in comp, like, maybe 20 seconds at the extreme most to get a match. Quick play, it's still like, you know, if it hits 10 seconds, that's a really long queue time for quick play, right? It's still like generally 3 seconds, like really quick. So I don't understand why they're saying that queue times suck, right? Again, that's got to be competitive, and if he's up here at the top, which I think this is one of the ranks up towards the top, but if he's up at the top, I mean, there's not that many y'all. The player pool ain't as big. Of course, queue times are gonna take longer. It's like when a game is winding down and getting towards EOL, right? When it's getting to be end of life. That's what EOL is. Just in case someone didn't know. But when it's getting to EOL, yeah, communities are pretty low. Like mag servers, and this is a PS3 game, so I'm kind of calling back to some stuff here. But mag, the player base was several thousand strong. You know, you'd queue up for domination, and it would say 3K plus on like, or that wasn't for domination, but there'd be like 3K plus for each faction online. Now, granted, towards the end of life, like within the last year of it being around, before they finally shut down the servers for it, maybe a few hundred in total. So yeah, I mean, Rivals ain't anywhere near being EOL and like, oh hey, we just have so few players because the game's almost, you know, about to be shut down. But I can't imagine queue times are actually that bad. I wonder if he's going to show us any, because I mean, I haven't seen queue times up at that rank, so I really wouldn't know.
I think queue times suck. I think the game is not popular anywhere but in America right now, which sucks. Like, nobody knows Rivals outside of America.
Why would that really be a problem? I mean, again, this has got to be something for the competitive scene, but Marvel is an American-based IP. And, I mean, off the top of my head, if I think of, like, superheroes that are well-known around the world, I think the 3, like, world most popular superheroes are, like, Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Batman. And I know Spider-Man's, like, the most popular worldwide. I'm not sure where Deadpool and Batman stand up, but I mean, just from other stuff I've seen elsewhere, I would have to imagine those are probably the 3 most popular, right? But I mean, it's an American-based company. It's an American-based IP. I would imagine it would be the most popular in America and not necessarily elsewhere. I mean, of course, maybe because NetEase is a Chinese company, people were expecting a certain amount of popularity in China, and maybe you didn't hit that, right? But like, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below, chat. How big is China on superheroes, like Marvel and DC superheroes? I really don't know. I don't know. Again, maybe because NetEase is a Chinese company, there was like some hopes or expectations. I don't know, but just in my mind, like, I would expect a Chinese-based IP to be most popular in China, a Korean-based IP to be most popular in either North or South Korea. A Russian-based IP would be most popular in Russia. A British IP would be the most popular in Britain, right? Like, that's just what I would imagine.
Like, China, the game isn't popular in China at all. Somebody said that, hey, you know, this game just sucks here, right? I couldn't find a game on Asian servers, not Chinese servers. I think I waited for like 30 minutes and I still didn't find a game. I couldn't play a single.
Did he say 3 minutes or 30? He had to say like 32.
Like 30 minutes and I still didn't find. I think I waited for like 30 minutes and I still didn't find a game. I couldn't play a single game from.
32 minutes. Holy crap. Okay. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. For like any region. Doesn't matter anywhere. That's just bad. That's bad.
China. I think with Rivals right now, they did a lot of things, but like they haven't managed to actually change the game too much between the seasons in the summer. And it just feels like the same game over and over, and people are just burnt out now. They really needed to like crack down on characters, but like they haven't managed to actually change the game too much between the seasons in the summer. And it just feels like the same game over and over, and people are just burnt out now.
Okay, this is the thing about any game, right? Like every game, especially after you've been out for multiple seasons, you're releasing more heroes, you're putting in more maps. Of course it's more of the same. It's not going to be drastically different. Now, what Rivals has done to put drastically different stuff in the game is that they've had limited time game modes. There was one back in the winter, and you had to move around as Jeff, and you had to like paint snow or spray snow or something all over the map, and you had it, one team's snow is one color, the other team's, snow is another color, and whoever got the most paint down or the most like snow down won the match, right? It was a game mode designed to like outpace each other in terms of something not necessarily combat related. Doom game is now like a permanent mode in the game, and it came out in in the Dracula season. I think that was season 1 if I'm remembering correctly. And in that season it was new because it's like, hey, there's like a full 2 teams on the map, but it's every man for themselves. So it's a bit of chaos. You have all these different portals and ways to teleport and jump around the map. Crazy stairs the map is what I called it at the time, right? And it's still in the game. It's drastically different from the normal game modes of Convoy and Domination. Of course, we also have Resource Rumble now recently. That one's okay. It's pretty cool. It's like Domination, only the objective moves around the map. It's kind of cool, kind of nice. You get speed boosts based upon how many resources you have. And, oh yes, then there was Clone Rumble. How could I forget? Clone Rumble was awesome. Basically, you vote on 2 different characters, right? One team votes, and the character with the most votes on that team gets selected, and then a character for the other team gets selected, and both teams can only choose either of those characters. Oh, the 6 thing death ball. I'll have that video linked down below as well. The 6 thing death ball was awesome. My entire team, because we ended up getting the Thing, and when he was brand new, and Magic, and she was really powerful that season. And my entire team picked the Thing. We ran around as 6 things. Now the other team, they kind of started out as a mix of Magic and the Thing, but then eventually 5 of them were the Thing. But there's that one person that just insisted upon playing Magic, and things did not turn out well for him. So they have done a lot to change the game, right, with limited time modes. Also, the different seasons, the different themes that go with each season. I know this is like Battle Pass related, and that's tied into micros and etc., but it is a difference. It is a change. Although it'd be nice to have something a bit more for free and not necessarily have to be paid, but the game is free at base, so I guess that's the evil maybe. Doesn't have to be, but it is for right now. But what do you mean, Bogur? What do you mean, man? You sat here, you said you don't like Luna Loki. You said matchmaking sucks. You said it's not popular in China. You said they haven't done anything to evolve the game and people are getting burnt out on the formula, but I mean, if you are an Overwatch player, this is something that I heard about from Overwatch peeps all the time, at least my friends that played Overwatch. They get so burnt out on oh god, what do they call it, a patch? It was like a season, basically, right? Or it was like, I don't know, maybe it was like a balancing patch or something, and people just got so tired of playing this person or playing against that person. They were so ready for the next, balancing patch to come through. So, what are you talking about, Bogur?
They really needed to like crack down on characters that are strong and always playable, like Emma and Luna and Loki and Psylocke, even Psy, I think Psylocke is also another example of a character that should have not been nearly as oppressive. I think the pro play.
Okay, he's mentioning pro play. Let's back up a couple of seconds here. Okay, so he wants them to nerf characters, and I forgot to swap scenes. That's my apologies, Bogur. But he wants them. Well, let's just back up now that we're in the right scene. Let's just back up.
sucks here, right? I couldn't find a game on Chinese, no, okay, on Asian servers, not Chinese servers. I think I waited for like 30 minutes and I still didn't find a game. I couldn't play a single game from China. I think with Rivals right now, they did a lot of things, but like they haven't managed to actually change the game too much between the seasons in the summer. And it just feels like the same game over and over, and people are just burnt out now.
Every game's that way.
They really needed to like crack down on characters that are strong and always playable, like Emma and Luna and Loki and Psylocke, even Psy.
Okay. Characters that are always good. I can tell you from personal experience of playing against Emma, there are some Emmas that make me scared. I don't want to get near them. And I try to stay out of range of that telekinetic ability, that little beam thing. Try to stay out of range of that. And then there's some Emma characters that I could not be less afraid of. I don't really feel that way about Psylocke, right? Like either the person, you know, dies a few times in Psylocke and they swap, or they're a terror on Psylocke, right? I kind of feel the same way about some support classes and other DPS classes and a couple other tanks, right? Oh, is that Rocket? I think that might be Rocket. Anyways, his camera really cleared up. It's doing him some good justice now. But oh hey, he's at 171 FPS, 61 ping. He's got. I didn't notice it at first, but he's got an overlay with stats active. Okay. So, kind of in that average range of ping, getting really good FPS. Nice. But anyways, now these kind of characters I would call evergreen, right? Like if they're always good, they're always oppressive, they're always strong. Those would be your evergreen characters. You know, your characters that don't go out of style, right? Rip Iron Fist. But they're evergreen. They're always good, right? That or they always fulfill the specific function. So there's not a problem with evergreen characters. Now, Psylocke can be oppressive, but Psylocke can also not be oppressive, right? It depends on who's running Psylocke. Now, at the upper end of competitive play, I would imagine most Psylocke players, like most Scarlet Witch players, like most Luna players, like most Mantis players, like most Loki players, like most Emma players, like most Mag players, probably all good, right? They're probably all pretty oppressive. And I'm betting you if you see a Wolverine running around at that rank, he's probably pretty oppressive too. I mean, I imagine any character can be oppressive in the right hands, in the right ranks. But why nerf? Right? Maybe there needs to be a rework to an ability. Not the whole character, but like an ability or something. Maybe once Loki uses a copy, he can't copy that character again on like a cooldown or something, right? So he could get his ult back, but he wouldn't be able to copy Luna on that next ult. I don't know how much of a nightmare that would be programming wise, but maybe something like that. That way he can still copy it and you just have to make sure you're saving that Luna copy for like that really moment. Or if you're playing with a Mantis, because Mantis and Luna's ults are pretty darn similar, except Mantis's buffs at the same time it does heal. I think Luna's lasts longer though. But yeah, maybe a rework. Why a nerf? Why do we gotta nerf characters? There's nothing wrong with having an evergreen character. There's nothing wrong with having a strong character. Just to give an example of another evergreen character, Iron Man's probably always gonna be pretty good at, you know, aerial DPS. Is he gonna be the absolute strongest DPSer? Can he get like 2-shot snipes on people? Can he one-shot people? No, he can't, but he can put down just pretty constant, pretty sustained DPS. You can play him at close range, mid-range, long range. I mean, that's always going to be good. Is it going to be the best tool for the job, or the best tool for the team comp, or the best tool for the situation, or the best tool for comp play? Maybe not, but he's still going to be evergreen, right? He's still going to be just always really good at what he does. Storm would be another great example, right? She may not be she may not be the strongest character, she may not be the weakest character, but she's always going to be good at what she does. Why do we need a nerf, Bogur?
You know.
Oh, and what do you suggest as well, Bogur? I want to know what you suggest, right? You seem like a pretty experienced dude in this kind of field. I want to know what you think. Don't just tell me nerfed. Give me something more.
I think Psylocke is also another example of a character that should have not been nearly as oppressive. I think the probe.
Also, don't go messing with my Marvel girls. You leave Scarlet Witch and Psylocke alone.
Play in this game is kind of chill. Everybody's done everything there is to do with the game, and people are just kind of tired. People are getting more upset, people are getting more tilted, people are getting...
I don't have a single lord. Is there anybody out there that has like every lord? Let me know in those comments down below, chat. But is there anybody that has like every lord, every achievement? Like, I'm kind of blanking at the moment on what else there is to do. The highest rank.
More angry. It just kind of reminds me of Overwatch back in the day. It's not all because of Luna Loki. It's just like their inability to address characters that, hey, we like the characters, they're fun, but like we don't want to play against them or with them all the time. When a bunch of...
Okay, so he wants things to be a bit more even. He doesn't want there to be any outlier characters. I can understand the sentiment, right? And I'm sure he's about to tell us a little bit more, so I'm sorry if I'm interrupting here. But yeah, like, of course there's always going to be outliers.
Games like Overwatch, a bunch of games like Overwatch. Like, I feel like the support aspect of this game just struggles because Overwatch releases support characters that people want to try and play. Meanwhile, Rivals just doesn't fuck with support players. They just alienate these players and got excited to play this new game that was supposed to fix everything wrong with Overwatch, and they just don't do anything about. A big portion of the player base just doesn't get to enjoy the game because you need supports and you need tanks, but who the fuck is gonna play support and tank when we don't have any supports or tanks, right?
We do have supports and tanks, right? We got 9, I think it's 9 9 supports, 10 vanguards, or is it 10 supports, 9 vanguards? I keep getting those mixed up. But we do have characters. Now, do we have as big a variety of tanks and supports as we do DPS? No. This is why I'm in the camp of we need more vanguards and we need more vanguards and we need more strategists, right?
Why would I invest my time grinding these roles? And outside of that, like, they are making more and more improvements in the performance, but even now, I think I've forgotten what a game with good performance looks like. I've accepted.
You're at 206 FPS at 43 ping. You've got good connection, your machine is handling the game well. I'm not seeing like a whole bunch of like weird graphical bad stuff, so I mean obviously your machine's handling the game well. Like, is he talking about matchmaking performance? Is he talking about like rank team comps when he says performance? I mean, I don't know. I don't see how that equates to things being dead, Bogur.
That having a 4070 Ti will only net you 200 FPS in a fucking game. Oh, matchmaking, I'm not even discussing.
Okay, that is pretty bad. Like, just in terms of what the card is capable of. So he's getting good FPS, but yeah, if he's running a 4070 Ti, it should be a little bit higher than that, you know? But I just figured he has like everything set up on Epic and like multiple things running at the same time, which can hinder performance like that, right? He's running recording software. I don't know if he does a dual PC setup, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage there. I don't exactly know what his technical setup is, so if he's doing a single tower setup, especially with like multiple monitors or 3 monitors, running a bunch of other stuff while he's playing the game, yeah, that can hinder things, but I don't know, I'm kind of at a disadvantage not knowing his setup.
Matchmaking, because every competitive game is gonna have horrible matchmaking.
We need to back up some
FPS in a fucking game. Oh, matchmaking, I'm not even discussing matchmaking because every competitive game is gonna have horrible matchmaking. That's just inherently what happens with competitive.
Why do competitive games have horrible matchmaking? Like, I would imagine you could tune the matchmaking system, right? So why are they all horrible?
I think I already said it for the season before this. I said, hey, I think this season is very crucial for the longevity of the game. And I was right, because they fucked it up. They fucked up Season 3. I think Season 3 was was the most important season for them, right? I felt like...
Why do you feel that Season 3 was the most important? I don't think a double DPS is a fuck-up, but... I mean, it's not good. Like, we do need to get a variety of heroes every season. I would think we need to get, like, a Vanguard and a support along with a DPS, kind of alternating, rotating. Maybe a Vanguard support at the same time. Maybe no DPS, but... Well, there's a lot of characters that could fall into the DPS category on the Marvel roster. But why? Why was Season 3 the most important? Why was it not just any other season, Bogur?
This...
But while we're on it, just for a brief second here, have you seen how they have like a premium plus and a premium light? So if you pay for premium, you could still be seeing ads. Like, why the hell are you paying anything at that point? But it's limited ads. Sorry, Bogur. Sorry, just had to get that off my chest.
They fucked it up. It really hurt the game. And people were getting an...
I missed something.
Most important season for them, right? I felt like...
Why?
If they fucked it up, it really hurt the game. And people were getting uneasy, people were getting bored, people were getting tired. And I was like, hey, it's Season 3, you gotta add a bunch of shit, you gotta fix things. And then they released Phoenix, and then they released Blade, and Blade, it's like they didn't release a new character. Blade...
They are two different characters. They play different. One's actually a bit more melee focused than ranged focused, and the other one's completely ranged focused. Again, I know double DPS is bad, but I mean, I could be exacerbating it, right? You know, maybe he's not making that big of a deal out of it, but he's brought it up several times, so it's a bit odd. I mean, I understand not liking it, but it's one season. We could get no DPS this coming season. I don't know. Again, haven't reacted to Heart of the Dragon. I think that was what it was.
Doesn't exist in this game. Like, genuinely, just doesn't exist. I've seen they were...
What doesn't exist? I missed it.
It's like they didn't release a new character. Blade doesn't exist in this game. Like, genuinely, just doesn't exist. I've seen they released this brand new character that's supposed to be really cool. Nobody fucking plays him. Blade is just still...
I saw Blade a lot in quick play, so he must be meaning in competitive play, but that's probably because people just haven't figured him out yet, or figured where he fits in, or what map he fits in best with.
Honestly, people will return for next season. It's also gonna drop really quick again. They have to drop some big characters soon. Okay, but if they can change their character, like, release schedule to meet demand, or, like, from the players. Can you shut the fuck up? I'm gonna euthanize you. Sorry. I never get angry. Then why don't they just swap things around and release some supports? Support?
And this is where I stopped watching earlier, so I was about a third of the way through the video. Croatian supports make more space in this game. More than tanks. Yes and no. Yes and no.
The fuck up? I'm gonna euthanize you.
I didn't mean to back up right there, I'm sorry.
Sorry. I never get angry. Then why don't they just swap things around and release some supports? Supports make more space in this game than tank. There's no new supports to actually play or enjoy. Deadlock, eating all the players. I want to play Deadlock so badly. I just don't have time to play Deadlock. I want Deadlock. I want Deadlock.
I'm not big in, like, hero shooters, so I don't know, like, all the different hero shooter games that are out there. There's Overwatch, there's Marvel Rivals, Siege. I think there's another one. Well, Apex has heroes, but there's another one I'm trying to think of. I think it's like it's similar to CS:GO, but it's like got heroes and abilities in it. So I don't know what Deadlock is, but let me know in the comments down below. What's Deadlock? And yeah, how does that tie into Marvel Rivals, Bogur?
Deadlock. Like Deadlock, there's an early access releasing characters like Doorman and such unique concepts and amazing things with unique abilities. Kind of feels like Marvel Rivals when it was coming out and released a bunch of characters with very unique concepts, right? So maybe in a way, the release schedule of a hero every month is gonna catch up to them, and we're only now seeing the slopifying of characters, right?
Well, they just only recently also implemented. It was like, what, last season they implemented there was going to be a hero every month, right? They did 2 heroes for 3 months in season 2, or no, season 1 with the Fantastic Four, and then in the back half of the season, which was like, I want to say like 2 months later or something, it was like a 3-4 month season in total. But then in the back half, they released the other 2 characters, right? So it was kind of averaged out to 2 heroes, you know, to a hero a month. And maybe that's what they should look at doing, right? Maybe instead of releasing characters one at a time, maybe they release both characters at the start of the season, and then it just kind of runs for the whole season. Maybe that way we're still averaging a hero every month, but we're kind of getting more variety at once. Maybe freshens up the game more for a bit longer. But yeah, like, all our heroes are unique. They do have unique concepts and designs. We do have some that are similar, like, you know, I mean, you can make the argument that Hela, Natasha, Namor, Frank, Iron Man, Storm, Atom, Human Torch, Penny, they just kind of spit out a lot of range damage, right? They do a lot of sniping, a lot of picking at, you know, individual people from various angles. They're similar, yeah, but they're also different. They don't operate in the same way. Their attacks don't happen in the same cadence. Hawkeye has the ability to, like, you know, pull back, draw, and one-shot people. Natasha don't have the ability to do that. Hela can 2-tap, but not 1-tap. So how do they not have unique designs? How are they already slop? We haven't seen any major repeats. I think the closest thing you could say is like a repeat of a character would be comparing Natasha and Hela, or, you know, Black Widow, that's Natasha, Black Widow, Hela, and Phoenix. But, you know, you could also throw Atom in there a little bit because his main attack is a hit scan, like Snipe Beam.
Right? Because I don't think they can maintain a good quality with one character release a month. I think
Give them some likes and some subs, right? Let's increase that number by 23. We're up to 23 strong, so let's increase his number by 23, shall we? But he's more concerned about the quality. If we keep releasing at a hero a month, he's worried about the heroes becoming slop, becoming clones, not just similar. You know, they fulfill a very similar role or function, but they do it differently. He's actually worried about, if the cadence continues, it's going to turn to slop. Valid concern. Can't argue with it. Valid concern.
Slopifying of characters, right? Because I don't think they can maintain a good quality with one character release a month. I think in its core, the characters are cool. It's just when Rivals was coming out and they had characters like Wolverine and Hulk, and like they're not unique characters per se, but they're fun, unique for the game itself.
I can understand if you don't like Hulk or Wolverine and you don't find them fun, but how are they not fun characters? How are they not unique? It's Hulk and Wolverine, 2 of the most unique and iconic characters in Marvel. Well, arguably, of course, you know, you could probably put any character up there to a certain degree that isn't like X-23, who is a clone of Wolverine. So yeah, I mean, maybe less similarities there, but what? I mean, you're playing Spider-Man, bro. Like, you know, Peter Spider-Man. And I know clones, the clone saga. I know it's bad example. I'm just gonna let Bogur go.
Had some unique concepts like Wolverine grabbing people and like pulling them, and like it just fits the character itself, you know. But like with Phoenix, they just focused on her mouse one. Like, that's her entire gameplay loop. It's about shooting. She's just Hela. And I feel like Phoenix as a character is so cool and has so much lore that they could have went so many ways, but they just made her a left-click bot. And the same with Ultron. Like, Ultron's so cool. You could have done so many things, but they just made him a left-click bot. Even BP is so cool, and like I feel like it really fits him. We've had Ultron, which is a left-click bot. Emma is kind of like a left-click bot. He's holding mouse 1. Ultron is just a left-click bot. The Thing is just a right-click bot. Okay, Emma is not a good example because I think Emma
Okay, well, we'll let him make his case on Emma not being the greatest example, but literally, you're gonna pull up Hella, left click bot. Phoenix, left click bot. Thing, right click bot. Do you just not play ranged characters all that often, Bogur? Because that's a big thing for a lot of ranged people. They're kind of focused on that ranged attack. Now Hella also has her 3 little daggers that she can shoot and explode. She's got a stun, but yeah, her ranged attack is going to be how she mainly spits out DPS. Kind of like Iron Man, Storm, Black Widow, Hawkeye. Are we seeing a theme here, Bogur? So, left click bot. I don't know, people. Let me know in the comments down below, but I kind of feel like I'm either spamming left click or right click with most characters. Where are you going with this, Bogur? You're not making no sense. You're getting me confused. Why are you calling people left click bots? Doesn't make any sense for ranged characters.
Has a lot. I think Emma is a good character, but Blade is just a left click. Okay, I.
Are we serious, Bogur? You use the right click as you're closing the distance, then you got to make sure you're using position and cover, waiting to see who's going to be isolated, who's kind of hanging back too far, who's a little too far away from the team. Then you press the E button, at least on keyboard, you press the E button. That activates his lifesteal ability. Then you go in with Pound Town, just slashing away with melee attacks. He's got dashes to close the gap, right? To be able to get away and escape as well, but it's kind of how is that a left click bot, Bogur? There's too many other interactions going on, man.
Don't know what Blade is yet, I'll be honest. If you release a character every month,
nobody knows
and
exactly
most of the characters are mediocre, I have a feeling people will stop being excited for your characters. Like, if I just think about whimsical characters in this game, I feel like Spider-Man is such a whimsical character, has so many unique concepts. Thank you, Minimix, for the 50. Such a whimsical character, is so unique and people keep playing. VP is so cool. Even Cloak is a cool character by design.
Yes, they're all pretty cool characters. Why are you ragging on people who mainly spit out damage, right? Do they have as variety of movement as, say, Panther or Spider-Man? No. Do they have things like, oh, I've got a web swing ability that's not really an attack, it's more just a traversal kind of thing? Well, I mean, Phoenix does. She can go into flight mode. She has a little dash that leaves behind a little fire explosive for people chasing her. It's kind of like when Magic goes through her portals and she drops her demon back out. Like, there's a lot of cool whimsical characters. It's just not each one of those cool whimsical characters is going to fit your particular power fantasy, man.
Adam is a great character. I think Loki, if he wasn't so broken, would be so cool.
If he wasn't so broken, he'd be so cool. Like, I can understand if he's too strong, if you think he's too strong and kind of needs to be toned back, but how's that going to make him not a cool character? He's just an overpowered cool character. Come on, Bogur. Get to it, man.
Okay, my bad. Sorry for asking for Dios. Thank you, Minix. Like, genuinely, Magic is so cool. You know what I mean? Like, I have a feeling they're rushing the process, and the people are gonna get. You are gonna get creatively bankrupt eventually by releasing characters every month. And they're trying to maintain demand, and they can't maintain demand because ultimately nobody releasing a character every month. It's about making the core experience super fun, and the core experience right now is no longer fun because they just dropped the ball on things. It's a crunch culture, and we know for a fact crunch culture doesn't work most of the time.
Okay, I can understand crunch culture bad. Yes, I totally agree, but I don't understand how that's going to play into what Marvel Rivals has already done. Yes, they have a year of content. They have a year of heroes already planned out, but they've had that planned out for a while. They've had a lot of them stacked up and ready to go and waiting to be released in their season for a while. So they've done a lot of pre-prep, a lot of pre-work. They've got a lot of stuff loaded up into the chamber before they started popping rounds off. I can understand about creatively bankrupt, right? Like, once you get to the point that you're not ahead anymore, something happens all the time at work, and suddenly now you lose some time, suddenly now you're behind schedule, or at least behind being ahead of where you wanted to be, and you're kind of just more on time, and then later on down the line something else can happen, and then oh no, we're crunching to get stuff out. I can understand that. But I mean, I can understand you being upset with him about poor planning and whatnot, but I don't think we're quite to this point of slop. Now, yes, you could be having this concern because you could be looking way further down the road than I am, but I don't know. You guys sound off in the comments below. Do you think we've gotten any kind of slop territory, or do you think we're going to be getting into slop territory? He's concerned about the quality and what could happen if we continue to release every year, or a hero every month, even beyond the first year, right? Which is already pre-planned, preloaded, ready to go. But, I mean, we've already got some similar characters. They're not clones. So, what are you defining as slop? Like, how similar is too similar, Bogur? Tell me.
Like, you can crunch your developers, but developers are gonna burn out. I genuinely believe Luna. Okay, this is like a ridiculous sentence to say, but I think Luna is just making the game 10 times worse.
Why Luna specifically? And it can't just be because her ult or because Loki can copy her ult, because they could play Mantis, and then Loki could just copy Mantis's ult. Kind of the same deal. So why Luna specifically? Is it just because she's really focused on having a lot of different healing abilities? I think she's got the most different healing abilities in the game.
Because Loki as a character sucks because of Luna. Like, quite genuinely. Because the character is so cool, but you just reduce to a fucking Luna copy bot. There is no variety to what you're gonna do with Loki ult except copy Luna ult. I'm just gonna say it, like, right, I think Luna is the problem. I think Luna is a big issue with this game. Like, you can play other supports too, but like, why would you go play and make the game more complicated when you can just default to the easy answer, which is Luna?
Because people like variety. I like Luna. Is Luna my most played healer? No. I actually prefer either Mantis or Invisible Woman the most. They have a lot of different tools in their toolkit. They have a lot of variety built within their character. Now, some characters like Luna don't have as much variety. I mean, she's got a variety of ways to heal, but she doesn't like have as many different things that she can do, right? But if you use her abilities correctly, you can kind of pretty much do, well, to a lesser degree, you can do what Mantis and Invisible Woman do. Granted, you have to use your abilities to do so, but like, she's got variety. What is it about Luna specifically, Bogur?
Performance is still ass. I'm gonna say it. The performance is still ass. The performance is just terrible still. Like, even like just playing the game, even if my FPS isn't low, the game is just laggy. I've forgotten what a game that runs well looks like. And queue times have become too long because people aren't playing the game right now. The game is just not popular in Asia.
Back it up a few
Times
seconds.
have become too long because people aren't playing the game right now. The game is just not popular in Asia at all. We don't have enough unique, cool characters anymore. They dropped them. Oh my fucking god. We dropped them.
Okay, so you're worried about us having nice and cool characters, good characters, and you're worried about if we continue to release on one-a-month basis that they're going to turn to slop. But now you're saying we don't currently have any good, cool characters. You just said that Spider-Man was cool and whimsical. Like, are you... You're kind of talking out of both sides of your mouth here, Bogur. Like, you're saying we don't have cool characters, or we're going to run out and no longer have good and cool characters if they continue with the one-a-month release. But now you're saying that out of the roster we currently have, we don't have any good and cool characters. From when I've been pausing, I've seen it go up into the 200s. But I've also been seeing some variation on the ping. I'm not seeing anything lost. So your game being laggy? I mean, sometimes that happens to me when my CPU or GPU is starting to get overloaded when I've got too much stuff running, but I don't know. From what I've been seeing here in your gameplay, everything looks pretty smooth, Bogur.
We dropped the ball like crazy on Blade. Phoenix is cool character, but it's just another Hela. We don't...
Okay, I can understand Phoenix being similar to Hela. I would actually put Phoenix a bit closer to Star-Lord than I would Hela. But, you know, they all three kind of fulfill a similar function. But how did we drop the ball on Blade? Blade's actually pretty cool. Having the whole lifesteal mechanic that he's based around, it's pretty cool. Is he the most effective? I mean, I've gotten an MVP. I've played half a dozen games with him. I think he's all right, but yeah. There's some characters, mostly tanks, that can counter him pretty darn hard. That and ranged characters that can fly. But even so, I mean, he can still tear through an entire team if you space out his attacks right.
We don't have enough supports. We don't have enough tanks. We don't have enough anything really.
Seriously, Bogur? DPSs are more than vanguards and strategists combined. The duelists outnumber them that much, but we don't have anything. Okay, he's just got to be mouthing off.
Outside of DPS, the game, it's like the game was built for fucking DPS players in mind, but you can't play the game with 6 DPS.
I disagree, Bogur. I disagree. I have won matches where we were all running DPS. 5 people picked DPS, 1 person picked support, and then before the doors opened and the match started, they swapped to DPS, and we did end up winning. We did. I've also won games with 6 vanguards. Again, 6-thing death ball. And I've also won games with 6 healers. We kind of just outlasted them more than outdamaged them, but still, we won. Although I do not recommend that in any situation. 6 of the same role, I do not recommend it.
Like, you just cannot play the game with 6 DPS. And I'm not doing this to just complain. They have focused too much, in my opinion, on making new skins and new fucking cosmetic farms to make money, when they need to put some resources into actually fixing core issues like this.
Well, the core issue of there not being enough vanguards and strategists, I'm sure, is going to get somewhat corrected over time. I'm also going to put out there that with how many vanguards and how many duelists and how many strategists that the game launched with, it'll probably never be perfectly even like I'd like to see it be. And DPS, Marvel Rivals, at least from what I've seen in terms of marketing and whatnot, it's always been focused on the casual player with its marketing. It's never been marketed as the new super competitive replacement to every other super competitive game. All the tournaments are going to be in this game kind of thing. I've never seen it advertised that way. It's always been advertised more towards the casual player, and jumping in a game as a superhero and just spitting out damage towards the enemy team is the easiest thing to do. It's really casual. It's like jumping into a, like a first-person shooter in pubs and just, drinking a couple of beers and just, spraying some bullets at the bad guys. It's basically that equivalent, only it's the Marvel Rivals equivalent of that, right? And as for the whining thing, I don't really think you're whining, Bogur, but when you start talking out of both sides of your mouth, yeah, it does kind of come across that way. Oh, we don't have enough of this. We've got too much of this. Oh, we don't have enough of anything. Nothing's good. These things are good, but nothing's good. Like, at that point, yeah, it sounds a little bit that way, but no, otherwise it sounds like you're making some pretty good points. And it also seems like you have a very forward-thinking, train of thought. That was a really weird way to say that. But it also seems like you're kind of thinking back to your days with other games that have been similar, and you're kind of looking down the road, right? You're looking at what's coming. You're looking through the forest on the other side, seeing the storm come, and me, well, I very well could be missing the forest for the trees. Who knows?
This game right now, the match that I've been playing the last few days, reminds me of Overwatch after 4 years when it was at its death's door and nobody fucking cared anymore.
There's your answer. There's your answer to Luna. Good picks. Good team pressure. Diving in with your dive character and absolutely romping them. Sorry, Bogur.
Overwatch after 4 years when it was at its death's door and nobody fucking cared anymore, and like it's just random ass people who are like wasted. This reminds me of like when Overwatch didn't get a...
So pubs, what you're saying, they're random ass people that are wasted. Yeah, pubs drinking some beers and just chilling out.
Random ass people who are like wasted. This reminds me of like when Overwatch didn't get a new hero in like fucking half a year. Oh, in a year. It's crazy.
What? We're getting a hero every month. We get regular balancing changes. We get regular like patches and updates and tunes to characters, right? Iron Fist used to just be indomitable. Not so much anymore. Some other characters kind of needed a come up. Now they're really powerful. Like they're tuning things, they're adjusting things, well, not constantly, but periodically. And we're getting a new hero every month. How is this like Overwatch when it didn't get a hero for 6 months to a year? This is that doublespeak thing, Bogur. Now, Fiery Flame here says it's crazy because we're actually getting content. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. They put out a game, and that game was already done, and they've been adding to that game periodically ever since it came out. There's another game that put out an update recently. I'm sure you heard about it. No Man's Sky put out the Voyagers update. It's kind of crazy, right? People just keep improving their game over time. Granted, No Man's Sky and Rivals launched in vastly different states, but yeah, it's crazy that people want to make something good and they're passionate about it. Or at least, I hope the NetEase guys are passionate about it. I hate to think they're like chained up in some dark room just being whipped. Make new characters! Whoosh! Probably not, but I mean, you get the idea. I hope they like what they do.
It's good we're getting content. We need to call. Okay. Alright, unlucky. Unlucky game. Like, it just fucking turns like this. Went from fucking hardcore winning to hardcore losing because my team fucking decided to fucking throw.
Throw? I like that skin for C&D. Throw. Hang on a second. Throw.
Need to call. Okay. Alright, unlucky. Unlucky.
Throw. Okay, let's look here. Just immediately off the bat, M700 here and Good V Dark stand out to me on your team because they're the only ones that didn't go positive. Let me look over here. This oh, well, that's Ultron. Never mind. That actually makes a lot of sense. 17-7, 19-6, 21-8, 20-4. Ultron makes sense. 16-7. Yeah, we got a lot of assists on the support characters, not quite as many on the deeps characters. I'm guessing Mr. Moo or Miss Moo Raccoon didn't, got some pretty heavy resistance. I can't tell who M700 is playing here. Here's Loki and Luna on his team, right? On his team. I don't see a Loki Luna over here. Maybe a Sindar was playing Loki earlier in the match, don't know. But 19-4, 16-7. Yeah, we're seeing some comparable stats. 13-7. Okay, you did die one more time because you were playing Spider-Man, and this is highlighted, so this is you, Bogur. So their Spider-Man did get 6 more kills, died one last time, and got 5 more assists. Okay. Maybe a bit unlucky there. Let me see here. They had a Strange. Okay, yeah, I could see that presenting some problems when they've got a C&D and a Luna. That's going to counter you pretty hard, the combination of all three. And then if you're having to deal with their Spider-Man chasing you down, that's another thing. But you got 10,000 damage and 6,872 damage blocked. So you were obviously hanging in there, doing lots of damage, either making good picks or complementing your team well, helping to weaken people so they could finish them off. You had almost 7,000 damage blocked with Spider-Man. I'm gonna have to say you're doing pretty good. Now, in this kind of instance, your Luna going down, your healer going down here a lot. That really hurts you, right? They died they died a good bit, right? They died as much as some of your DPS characters did. Now, again, I don't know who M700 is playing. They might have should have considered a swap. Maybe an anti-dive character or a second tank to try to help out your supports here, because it looks like they were getting picked on. I mean, Loki did go 15-9, but he did die 9 times. That's the next most amount of times on the team. So obviously these two were getting targeted pretty hard. So I wouldn't necessarily maybe say unlucky. I wouldn't say that your team, I mean, it is unlucky for you, but I wouldn't say that your team threw. It just seems like maybe someone might have should have considered a swap up to an anti-dive character, try to help the supports last a little bit longer. Or, I don't know, maybe swap up to a third support, but I wouldn't say that they threw, man. That's a bit extreme. Like, at worst, M700 should have swapped to someone to try to help the supports live longer, right? But probably you guys were both good. Their team was just a little bit better.
I think whenever a game hits this spot right here, this like one.
I wonder if he's gonna get pissed off at Jeff again, or if he's gonna learn just to press the escape button early.
Moment where nobody speaks anymore, nobody has excitement for the game, nobody actually yaps about the game, nobody tries to do anything about the game. Like, once people instantly start giving up.
I don't know if he edits his own stuff or who their editor or who Bogur's editor is, but thank you for bringing that up as well.
That's how I know, hey, you know, maybe people are just dissatisfied now. Maybe like there is something happening with the game. Maybe there's like an underlying issue when people don't want to fucking try anymore, right? When people give up so fast and so easy, things are getting worse and worse, because there isn't the same level of excitement that this game used to have when playing. NetEase is gonna see it and shake it up next season. Yeah, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't fucking know. It's really hard to tell, because we said the same thing about last season. We're gonna be like, next season is gonna be banger. Next season hits, we have Hela, Orange Hela, and then we have Blade, which kind of sucks.
Double Deeps does suck. Yes, it is at the greatest. No. Do we need to get variety every season or every whole season? Like, do we need to not be getting 2 of the same role? I can completely agree. But they've also got their own story lined out, right? So, also, I kind of feel like any game that operates off of seasons has this whole, oh, next season's gonna be the banger. Next season's gonna fix everything. They're gonna see next season, bro. Like, it's always next season. It's never this season. It's always next season, people. Now again, Bogur here is coming from a competitive standpoint, so I can understand if things are way worse up at the competitive standpoint than down here at the casual standpoint, or Dirty Casual Try series, playlist on the channel, but I mean, it can't be that bad, right? Like looking at the stats off those last 2 teams, they were pretty even keel. Just one team got the upper hand at one point. They were able to keep their momentum going. Like, probably, you know, Bogur was sitting there with a good team, and the other team was just a little bit better overall than Bogur's team was overall, right? I don't think they threw. And as for no hype, no one's talking about the game. Like, the way I found out that the season 4 devlog came out today wasn't because the season 4 devlog was the first thing that I saw pop up in my YouTube. It was like 4 videos from other content creators that popped up in my thing. I was like, oh, hey, they got a devlog. Went to their channel, and top video on their channel was the devlog. So I wouldn't say no one's talking about it. I wouldn't say there's no hype. Now, if things have been kind of rough at the upper end and the upper echelons of the competitive side of the game, in the competitive mode, I can understand if it's been dry that way for a while. I understand. When, it doesn't matter what part of the game you exist in, whenever you kind of feel like your side's getting ignored or not getting as much good treatment as other sides of the game, yes, I can totally understand that sucks. Do I kind of wish maybe we might see like more heroes coming at one time than one? Would I be willing to see less skins to see more heroes? Absolutely. Abso-frickin-lutely, man. See less of these little cosmetic passes, these little mini battle passes, and see more characters? Oh, hell yeah. I'm right there with you, Bogur.
Used to be sillier. Well, people are less silly now because they're taking the game too seriously.
Maybe.
I don't think the balancing itself is necessarily bad. They just need to, like, nerf some characters.
He hasn't said balancing is bad at all this video, so not double speaking. He is maintaining that he needs, or that he wants to see certain characters nerfed. I'm still waiting to see how he wants them nerfed, what he thinks needs to be nerfed. Does it need to be a nerf? Does it need to be an ability rework? I think a character rework would be kind of out of the question, but I think they have reworked like 1 or 2 characters, like one of their abilities. So that could be a possibility. But what needs to be nerfed, Bogur? How do they need to be changed? Tell me. You haven't said all video.
It's not possible to fix everything in a month. Yeah, but you gotta start doing something, you know? Like, obviously, Luna needs to be fucking nerfed.
Oh, YouTube, you were going to make editing this so annoying. So I can understand that they do need to start doing something, right? Like if something has been an issue for a while in the upper end of the competitive range, and it needs to have had something done about it, I can certainly understand, yes, they do need to do something about it, especially if it's been a problem for a while. But they have, since the game came out, focused more on the casual side. So maybe Luna hasn't gotten nerfed because that would ruin too much for the casuals? Personally, I think Luna's fine, but I mean, I could see a rework to her ult because her and Mantis's ult are really similar. So, I mean, I could see like a change up to how the ability works, to maybe how much it heals or how much it buffs, or maybe it automatically swaps between buffing and healing on its own. Maybe it just kind of like radiates and pulses back and forth and changes colors on its own as she dances. Maybe. That way we're going to get some healing and some damage buff, but we can't control it. So when Loki would go to copy it at that point, it would be doing the same thing.
In a month. Yeah, but you gotta start doing something, you know? Like, obviously Luna needs to be fucking nerfed. Obviously Emma needs to be nerfed. If you don't inherently start doing that, I think you're just kind of fucking cooked. Like,
Wait, was he matchmaking that whole time? Okay, right about here. So 11:26.
things are getting worse and worse because there isn't the same low excitement that this game used to have.
Okay, he clicks it at 11 minutes and 32 seconds on the video.
NetEase is gonna see it and shake it up next season.
I think he's got some
yeah,
skips and
maybe
some
they
time
will,
jumps in
maybe
here.
they won't. I don't fucking know. It's really hard to tell because we said the same thing
Yeah,
about
he's got
last
some
season. We're
skips.
gonna like next season is gonna be banger. Next season hits, we have Hella, Orange Hella, and then we have Blade, which kind of sucks. People used to be sillier. Well, people are less silly now because they're taking the game too seriously. I don't think the balancing
He's still
itself
in
is
queue. I don't know if
necessarily
he's-
bad. They just need to like nerf some characters. It's not possible to fix everything in a month. Yeah, but you gotta start doing something, you know? Like, obviously Luna needs to be fucking nerfed. Obviously Emma needs to be nerfed. If you don't...
11:32 to 12:14. That is 42 seconds. And he had some skips in there. Now, I don't know if he re-queued. I don't know if he backed out and queued up again. I didn't see anything like that. I'm going to have to guess that Bogur didn't do that, and he was just sitting in the one queue. But 42 seconds, and he had time jumps in there. In comparison to competitive, like never taking more than 10 seconds. Yeah, Bogur, okay. I want to say thank you, Bogur, for that visual demonstration. It'd have been nice. Well, it would be nice to know how long that whole thing was, but I mean, you're trying to keep things succinct, so that might have made things a bit too lengthy watching the whole queue.
Don't inherently start doing that, I think you're just kind of fucking cooked. Like, you can't ignore the main complaint, which is an easy solution, and then just avert your gaze and then hope everything goes away. If you are a sport player and don't play...
What? Okay, I don't necessarily agree with this person's comment here, but they get 2 bans. We got one person on his team playing Loki. So, at this point, if you don't want to deal with the Looney Loki, the Loki Luna combo, why don't you ban her? If you as a support player don't play Luna when she's open on your team, questions why you're throwing.
Luna when she's open, your team questions why you're throwing. Yeah, because you need Luna. If Luna is open in your ranked games, you should be playing Luna.
If she's that much of a problem and Loki's that much of a problem, why don't they ban one of them?
Luna. Like, there isn't a reason not to be playing Luna. It feels like Rivals came in with a swing, did everything.
I had better see after this 3 seconds, I had better see Loki and Luna pop up in those other 2 ban slots. I better see it, or at least one of them.
Overwatch refused to do, and now Overwatch is coming out with it.
So we have a Black Panther for blue team and an Emma ban for blue team. The other team has banned Wolverine and Human Torch. If it's that much of a problem and people don't like it, why doesn't I see a ban in there?
The swing, and they're like, hey, you know, we're ready to fight back. And they are fighting back, right? They are fighting back. And they have been releasing stuff that the gamers do enjoy. You know, Stadium is a more casual experience that people like playing. It's still Overwatch, still shit. It's this dog shit opinion. I fucking hate that opinion. I hate that opinion about Overwatch because people say that shit, but they don't actually fucking play the game. People just like yap what other people yap.
I want to hear that again.
Fight back, and they are fighting back, right? They are fighting back, and they have been releasing stuff that the gamers do enjoy. You know, Stadium is a more casual experience that people like playing.
He's talking about Overwatch. Just
it's still Overwatch, still shit. It's this dog shit opinion. I fucking hate that opinion. I hate that opinion about Overwatch. Experience that people like playing. It's still Overwatch, still shit. It's this dog shit opinion. I fucking hate that opinion. I hate that opinion about Overwatch because people say that shit, but they don't actually fucking play the game. People just like yap what other people yap. Because while Rivals is jorking their peanuts with Luna Loki, they release another support that people fucking love playing or is fun or unique. At least the game runs with more than 60 FPS. Even if Rivals is the best game ever, it doesn't matter if you can't fucking run it. You know what would be good content, unironically? Me and Necros playing League together.
Okay, so I can definitely agree if someone's just ragging on your game to talk shit. Yeah, I can understand that's annoying, but I'll just sum up everything at the end.
I was talking with Fiona that I want to play League, and she said the only way you can do that is by oh, that's so good for us. The only way you can do that is by playing with another person. This is the moment in our careers with Necros where we need to stop sitting in one place and like try to do something else. Ooh. And I think playing League with it would be such fucking funny content. The hate will reach astronomical, but that's the funny part. It's like Peekaboo and FanFan playing League together. And then we are gonna play League together, and then boom, Deadlock comes out, we're ready. Do you not agree with me? Wouldn't that be banger content? Me and
okay, I don't know really anything about League or anything about Deadlock, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up there. We are getting close to the end of the video.
Necros playing League of Legends? No. I am serious. Stop rage baiting me. My hairline is stinging. It's over. Guys, this is how normal hairline looks like when it's wet. My hair is wet because I showered.
I understand your pain, Bogur. I understand your pain. I understand the pain. I understand the comments.
Or I'm going bold. It's over.
You'd start in the back.
Fucking rock it up type shit. Did your dad have hair?
Sorry, I don't mean to geek out here, but Tippy and I are huge fans!
It skips a generation, Bogur. That's why they're asking.
That's so sweet. I'll make sure to get you tickets to my next Central Park concert.
I wouldn't know.
We usually just watch.
I don't know a whole lot about Bogur, so I don't necessarily understand that last comment. But that is Bogur's video. Marvel Rivals seems very dead. Now, obviously, I disagree with him on it being dead, right? Now, I can certainly understand where he's coming from, the upper end of the competitive echelon. Things are taking a long time to get queued up. Don't like seeing a lot of Loki and Luna in every single game. Tired of seeing Emma in a lot of different games as well. I do think there was one game I noticed that the enemy team didn't have an Emma. But anyways, Bogur had some pretty good opinions there. He had some pretty good thoughts, right? I definitely agree with him that we need to be shaking up the character formula a bit more, right? And I mean that in terms of roles and how they release into the game. We need to kind of slack off on DPS a little bit. We need to see more Vanguards and more strategists. I can agree that Phoenix is similar to Hela and some of the other ranged characters, but I wouldn't exactly call her a clone or to the point where it's slop. I do think the little flares and explosions is a pretty nice touch. It kind of basically gives you, hey, I can make an area effect happen right there. It's a pretty nice touch. Also, a little built-in healing over time. She has flight mode, which is not exactly like Hela with a dash and a stun, and then a secondary attack that, kind of explodes wherever she throws it. They are different, similar, but different. You can say the same thing about a lot of different other characters in Marvel Rivals as well. I was really excited for there being a hero every single month and us getting that kind of release cadence with heroes, but I never thought about them getting too similar or clones or, as he put it, slop. I didn't think about that. I was just excited about the release schedule. And that is something that I do have to consider. I do kind of have to change my own perspective a little bit on it because I hadn't thought of that angle before. So, yeah, I mean, Bogur here's a guy that he's obviously played a lot of Overwatch. He was talking about wanting to go back to Overwatch in the beginning. He referenced Overwatch several times throughout his video. And, well, he's obviously up there in the competitive range, right? So he's probably, with his experience with the hero shooter genre, he's probably looking way down the road at something I'm not thinking about when he's thinking about slop and how characters could potentially become very similar to each other or clones of each other. So I do want to say thank you to Bogur for opening up my mind in that way and giving me a new way to think about things, something else to consider. But yes, I think I've gone on long enough, guys. I've already subscribed. I've liked the video. I'm going to again have this linked, the Group Up podcast, and his main channel linked in the description down below. So thank you again, Bogur. Thank you for some wonderful thoughts and some, I'd have to say, good opinions, right? Even if I didn't agree with it, you still made your case and presented it pretty darn well. There's still some questions I had that you never really clarified on some of the things that you said, but it may have been something that got cut out in the interest of time in one of those little time jumps. Hopefully not, but who knows. Anyways, I do want to say thank you for everyone for sticking out. The original recording of this is going to be 1 hour and 32 minutes long. I did not mean to turn a 15-minute video into that long of a reaction, but YouTube helped a little bit, and I'll make sure to cut those parts out. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. Sound off in the comments below. What do you think of Bogur's video? Do you agree that it's a concern? Do you think that he's kind of overreacting? Do you think he's focusing too much on the competitive end? What did you think of my counterpoints? Am I just completely off base? Am I thinking too much from the casual side of things? Am I blinded by just the vast amount of superheroes that I love that I can play with and I'm not really looking at things closely enough? Do I see that, yes, some characters are similar, but do I maybe need to look back again? Kind of look a little more with a magnifying glass, and then maybe I'll see that they're too similar. You let me know in those comment sections down below, and while you're down there, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button for more reacts and other content, but most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your day.